gentlemen, we have called you together to inform you that we are going to overthrow the United States government.
To another good idea, and imagine a machine that could power your house for free. Well, that's exactly what two Australian inventors claim they've developed. Using magnets and a battery, their new generator has been described as revolutionary, and foreign investors are lining up for a piece of the action. Chris Allen reports.
So, John, this is the machine?
Yes, this is it, Chris.
What's it capable of?
Well, it'll power a house. The machine will provide sufficient electricity to run a house and have power to burn.
It sounds too good to be true, but inventor John Christie is convinced his machine will change the world.
So, John, basically you're saying this machine can produce 5 times as much power as it consumes?
Yes, it does. This one, exactly as we see it, it does. And in fact, it can produce more than that.
Once kick-started from a battery, John and his partner Lou Britz say this prototype will run for years without stopping, generating 24 kilowatts of power a day.
You don't get more revolutionary, I think. I mean, we're talking about something that has the capacity to change the way that the world produces its electric power. It has the capacity to change the way that cars are propelled. It can replace the combustion engine, in fact.
John, these are big claims. Are you sure you can live up to them?
We don't really need to live up to them, Chris. What the technology speaks for itself.
I mean, a householder could buy one of these machines and install it in his garage and power his house forever without buying another kilowatt from a retailer. I mean, that's how serious it is.
Steve Brassington is an independent electrical engineer. He's seen the machine and backs up everything John says.
It's revolutionary. That's the only way to describe it. I think the technology, it's not bending physics, it's just using principles that I guess are commonly in use in power generation today in a different way. These guys have thought outside of the square.
Basically, it's magnetic attraction and magnetic repulsion that provide the movement or the moment of the motor.
Can you understand why some scientists are sceptical about it?
There is no physicist or engineer who has looked at our motor or has looked at our figures who says it doesn't work.
Lou is an electrician and John a businessman in Cairns in far north Queensland. The two unlikely inventors have been tinkering with their machine for 6 years. They've applied for an international patent and have been swamped by people wanting a piece of the action.
These are the coils. We mentioned the coils don't get hot.
Local businessman Alex Roma is one of the many offering money to help develop the generator.
If it proves up to be what they say it is, it certainly would be something I'd invest in.
John has also spoken to millionaire inventor George Lewin, the man who came up with the Triton workbench and who's now setting up a fund to stop Australian inventions going overseas.
There's an opportunity here, I think, to share an invention with the world that is beyond anything that we've ever contemplated before.
Scientists here at the local university say while they're interested in John's machine, they're also cautious. They say if the machine can generate as much power as John says it can, then they will have to rewrite some of the laws of physics. And they've urged people to be cautious about investing in it until the generator has been independently tested.
Anybody who says it doesn't work hasn't seen it or hasn't looked at our figures. They haven't reviewed it. If they look at it, they'll all agree with us that it does work.
John says the household generator should be available in a year and sell for about $5,000. If he's right, it will make him much more.
And how much do you think your technology could be worth to you?
I have absolutely no idea.
We could be talking about millions of dollars here?
Yes, very definitely talking millions of dollars, but I'd hesitate to even take a stab at it.
Good idea.
Naar de eerste verkoopsresultaten te oordelen, krijgt hij nog gelijk ook.
Uitvinder Wassili Shkondin laat ze maar wat graag zien. 2- en 3-wielers aangedreven door compacte elektromotoren van het formaat langspeelplaat die direct in de wielen zijn geplaatst. Het principe van deze motor is relatief simpel. Binnenin zitten 2 ringen met magneten en die zorgen met behulp van wat wisselstroom uit een accu voor de aandrijving.
Они бегут и меняют полярность вот за счет этого процессора, электромеханический триггер называется. И вот он на притягивание, отталкивание, притягивание, отталкивание, отталкивание, притягивание, понимаете?
En ook als je dat niet begrijpt, zie je dat het wel werkt.
Een snorfiets die niet snort.
Met proefmodellen zijn al snelheden tot 140 km per uur gehaald. En het aantal toepassingen is onbeperkt.
Мотоциклы.
En dat allemaal met wat accu's die in een paar uur opladen en het dan relatief lang volhouden. Daardoor presteert de ultramotor stukken beter dan elke elektronische concurrent, is zo'n 10 keer zuiniger dan een gewone verbrandingsmotor en in het geval van deze elektrische snorfiets kun je de energie zelfs met eigen spierkracht opwekken. Bezuinigen op energieverbruik met een schone motor.
This is going to be a big success.
In tijden van global warming trekt dat natuurlijk investeerders aan. In dit geval een Amerikaan met grote plannen.
We hope within the next 5 years to build Sony or Nokia of electric vehicles.
India is de eerste markt waar het elektronische wonder sinds kort in een paar varianten van 150 tot 600 euro te koop is.
We've sold over 5,000 in, 4 or 5 weeks.
En Ultramotor wil verder. De volgende introductie is in Zuid-Europa en daarna zal ook Nederland snel volgen.
This is a simple PVC, plastic vinyl. It's an old, plastic vinyl tube. We just cut it down to about 1 inch, which is the size of these little black magnets as you've seen them. They're all glued in. They're all the same direction, the north and the south. All one side is south, other one's the north. But you're going to notice something. I don't know if you can see it or not. You will in a minute when they do the videos. There's a little hole in it. That gives the ability then from the magnet to be a horseshoe magnet itself. So we got 2 magnets within each other. Now what we also have, I want you to look at this because when you see the wedding cake, you're going to see these big round balls around the outside of it, but there's a big space. You can imagine it when you can see this thing. Now it's connected to another what we call a round magnet basically. It's just a flat magnet on both sides. Now what I've done is glue just a plain old steel ball, the old pinballs, to the bottom so you can get an idea of what it is. End of story. Now you want to see what happens. Now what you have to do is start thinking of the possibilities by using a simple device this. We were looking at doing it commercially, which we do have it done, but the people that put it together originally have been shot at a couple times and it's not right. So why don't we make a toy so everybody can at least think about it? Do you understand? Okay, now I'll go make the thing so you can see how it works.
Okay, now we'll bring it up on the screen. You notice the gap that he has in the magnets, in the ring of magnets. And he's going to put that ring down over the other slice of a bar magnet glued onto a ball. We're going to have it on the screen here if you watch up here. And when he does this and gets it centered, the ball is the little ball inside, and the disc will revolve by themselves, and they'll revolve perpetually. It's being done strictly by magnetic power. There you can see it, which tells us that free energy is infinitely simple. It's just the interrelationship of magnetic fields, and that's what he's demonstrating.
Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, is the action plan. It is the blueprint to inventory and control all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world.
I get tired of saying that defense is to be made an excuse for wasting dollars. I don't believe we should pay 1 cent for defense more than we have to.
I seriously question an increase in the Pentagon budget in the face of the department's recent Inspector General's report? How can we seriously consider a $50 billion increase in the defense budget when DOD's own auditors say the department cannot account for $2.3 trillion in transactions in 1 year alone?
It is, I was going to say terrifying. It is such a monumental task. I have met with two former officials of the Pentagon who served in the budget and controller and those areas. And I've mused over the fact that I've read some of these things and asked what they thought.
We process nearly 10 million paychecks a month. 10 million times to get things screwed up. I've had my pay screwed up 6 times since I've been in the department. And it's really bad when you screw up your boss's pay.
I doubt, to be honest, that people inside the department are going to be capable of sorting this out. I have a feeling it's going to take some folks from outside to come in and look at this and put in place a process that over a period, and I regret to say, but I've seen how long things take. I think it's going to take a period of years to sort it out. I think it'll probably take the cooperation of the Congress to try to get the system so that you can actually manage the financial aspects of that institution rather than simply report on things that have happened imperfectly.
There's more oversight over the Head Start program than there is over the entire military budget.
It's a terrible record, and it's preposterous that the Defense Department doesn't know what's happened to this money.
This situation's a disgrace. It tells me that we can't meet our constitutional obligations to the taxpayers of our country to make sure that things are honestly and legally spent.
We're told major cuts in education programs, and then we read, well, you know, $500 million is paid per year that isn't owed.
It is an incredible thing that we arm the world and then turn around and come to Congress and say, look at all these weapons out there. They're almost superior to ours. They're comparable to ours. Well, of course they are. They're ours. We sold them to them.
Since the end of the Cold War, we've sold more military weapons than the rest of the world combined.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
My name is Jack Shanahan, Vice Admiral, U.S. Navy, retired. One of our nuclear bombs blows up Hiroshima 15 times over. 5 devastates Russia. After that, this is how many the U.S. has left. I feel safe reducing nuclear weapons. Do you?
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations. For the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, and we will be, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order. A real chance. An order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.